Hi everyone, welcome back to the Web3 channel. My name is Zach. In this video, we're looking at Animoca Brands doubling its valuation to $5 billion among other important Web3 and NFT news. So let's get into the story right now, and then we're going to be having a look more into detail with the Animoca Brands later on. The best and worst quotes, adoption and regulation highlights, leading coins, predictions and much more 1 week on Cointelegraph in one link. So let's go through what's happening here. Top stories this week: NFT focused Animoca Brands valued at $5 billion following a $358 million raise. NFT and virtual property focused firm Animoca Brands secured $358 million worth of funding earlier this week at a valuation of $5 billion. The company said the fresh funds will go towards financing strategic acquisitions and investments, product development, and IP accumulation. If you have been paying attention to the NFT space over the past roughly 6 months and a year, you'll know how much of a really force and powerhouse Animoca Brands is in leading some of the really interesting projects that are being taking place here. And of course, they're investing a lot of money into different projects, so it's not a surprise that they are raising money as well. The firm has grown from strength to strength over the past 12 months, raising more than $216 million in 2021, while its valuation has more than doubled since its previous capital raise in October. A key area of focus for Animoca, of course, is GameFi, with the firm pointing to research suggesting that the video game sector will grow to around $829 billion by 2028. Not realistically far away at all. The firm is also invested heavily in the virtual property and metaverse space, with the Sandbox metaverse being one of its prime jewels. Of course, Sandbox really is in the top, I would say, 5 for when it comes to current, at least, examples of metaverse, along with Decentraland and others. Let's have a quick look at more information regarding Animoca Brands before we go further in to this week's highlights. NFT focused Animoca Brands valued at $5 billion following $358 million raise. The Hong Kong-based game software and venture capital firm will deepen its exposure to NFTs, gaming and metaverse projects. This was only posted a few days ago, so it's still relevant. The HK-based software and venture firm Animoca Brands has secured the money in capital investments to fuel new acquisitions in the NFT, gaming and metaverse sectors, further cementing crypto's biggest trends in 2022. The funding round was led by Liberty City Ventures and had participation from some of blockchain's biggest venture funds, including 10T Holdings, Gemini Frontier Fund, Parify Capital, Provident, Sequoia China, that's an interesting one, Winklevoss Capital, also an interesting one, among several others. Animoca said that the capital injection will go towards financing strategic acquisitions and investments, product development, and license acquisition for intellectual properties. That is huge. The company said its vision is to create a metaverse that enhances users' digital property rights through NFTs. Opportunities within GameFi, a broad concept that refers to the financialization of gaming through NFTs and DeFi, are also envisioned as being part of this environment. When it comes to the acquisition of IP, I do wonder how this goes, because realistically, I think the most important IPs will want to work with a brand that doesn't necessarily pay for it, but rather monetizes their brand as well as possible. We're looking at what I'm thinking about, Quid personally, which of course is a really sort of not really great competitor, I suppose, to Vivi, which definitely does take, I think, the ball when it comes to IP-led NFTs. However, of course, Animoca does not own Vivi, that is Ecomi. Cointelegraph pointing out or tweeting out, play for fun or play to earn. The president of Japanese developer and publisher Square Enix has published a letter to fans detailing their plans for the metaverse, blockchain and NFTs. Square Enix is one of the largest developers and publishers in the world, putting out titles such as Final Fantasy, I believe. Regarding GameFi, Animoca referenced industry research showing that the global video game market is expected to reach $829 billion in 2028, from $180.3 billion in 2021. Of course, we have just recently seen the Microsoft acquisition, or at least the Microsoft's attempt to acquire Activision Blizzard King for around $80 billion or $70 billion. The industry's sizable growth is then expected to feed into play-to-earn games and other forms of in-game monetization. Animoca raised over $216 million during the course of 2021, while its subsidiary, the Sandbox, concluded a $93 million funding round in early November. While the latest funding, Animoca further cemented itself as one of the crypto's fastest growing unicorns with a pre-money valuation of $5 billion. That's more than double the $2.2 billion valuation it received in October. startups becoming unicorns when they achieve a valuation of at least 1 billion. Several crypto-focused companies have crossed that same threshold over the past 12 months, including Amber Group, Bitso, Blockstream, CoinList, Consensus, Figure Technologies, OpenSea, and 2TM, among others. Venture capital funds are betting big on blockchain, of course, as Telegraph reported venture funds poured over $17 billion into blockchain startups for the first 10 months of 2021. I do think when it comes to Animoca Brands games, the IPs that they hold, what they do really need to focus on is, I think, player acquisition, which I assume will come over the next 12 to 18, 24 months and beyond, because I do believe, knowing and have played some of their games, that they are much more play to earn right now than to play for fun. With that being said, let's go over some more of the information from this week. Bitcoin dumping to hit 6 months low near $38,000. Bitcoin's price dropped a hefty 7.5% in the space of 12 hours to briefly sit at around 38 in the early hours of Friday. During the depths of the sell-off on Tuesday, Bitcoin's price fell below 35. It is unclear what sparked the sharp price dip and whether it is purely crypto related or a symptom of a larger trend across the financial market on traditional financial markets. However, it is quite certain that while Bitcoin and other assets are down, crypto influencers will be flocking to Twitter to cheesily ask their fans to ask if they have bought the dip yet. One potential reason for Bitcoin's downfall could be that bears are trying to tank the price so that they hit their targets before their futures contracts expire. The Investset Answers Twitter account, which has over 85k followers, suggests that bears need #Bitcoin under 41 to pocket 123 million in gains. And then we have OpenSea surpassing $3.5 billion in monthly Ether trading volume, setting new all-time high. And my guess is that this may well be further empowered by the recent Twitter partnership with their API. While the crypto market may have cooled in January, it appears that the NFT sector is booming, with countless investors who are aping into tokenized collectibles, among other things. It was reported on Monday that top NFT marketplace OpenSea has reached an all-time high in terms of monthly volume after it topped 3.5 billion at the time of writing. The figure stands at a whopping 4.3 billion, suggesting an average daily volume of around 204 million in January so far. The surge in NFT trade volume appears to be led by the price of increases of several Yuga Labs projects such as BAYC, MAYC, and BAKC. Very interesting. My question to you is, which NFT marketplace do you believe will be the first to outpace OpenSea? If that will happen, what are your thoughts? And then we have some really exciting news for an Indonesian 22-year-old making $1 million by selling NFT selfies on OpenSea. Reports surfaced at the start of this week regarding a crafty 22-year-old college student from Indonesia who made around $1 million selling NFTs depicting 5 years worth of selfies. Semarang-based computer science student Sultan Gustaf Al-Ghazali, sorry if I've got the name wrong, converted and sold nearly 1,000 selfie images as NFTs on OpenSea. According to him, he took photos of himself either standing or sitting in front of his PC for 5 years as a way to look back on his journey to graduation. He set the initial price at each selfie at $3 without expecting interest from serious buyers, but the project exploded in popularity on the back of support from the prominent members of crypto Twitter. What will be interesting to see, of course, is where this leads, because generally when it comes to these NFTs, and we are talking about a large bubble in this scene, which I personally do believe exists, which I think many people would agree with, that not every project is in the bubble, but that the majority are. And I do wonder what is going to build the IP of this Indonesian 22-year-old NFT selfies. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But to be very clear, massive congratulations to him. Microsoft massive metaverse move, buying ABK, I guess, for $69 billion, which we have spoken about on this channel. I believe Microsoft announced on Tuesday that it's acquiring AB for $95 per share at a valuation of $68.7 billion. They should say Activision Blizzard King, but that's fine. Activision Blizzard boasts a strong list of iconic gaming series such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. Activision titles will be added to Microsoft's Xbox and PC Game Pass. And of course, they have said about how essentially it will be playing a key role in the development of metaverse platforms. And then we have some more news regarding Bitcoin, with its high of 44.2 and a low of 59.8, ETH's high of 3.4 and low of 2.9. Then we have altcoin gainers and altcoin losers. We've actually spoken about, I believe, both Secret and Near Protocol. We haven't spoken about Network, so we should do that. And the same thing with Loopring, Yearn Finance, and Ravencoin. At the end of the week on Friday, Bitcoin is just at 38.6 Bitcoin, US dollars on Bitcoin, and ETH at 2.8k and XRP at 68 cents. Total market cap is 1.8 trillion according to CoinMarketCap. And then of course we have the other information right here. With that being said, for everything happening in the Web3 space when it comes to NFT gaming, metaverse platforms, and so on, this is the place to be. And subscribe to this channel if you're new. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next Web3 video.